I'm here. I'm here. Chiefs get the win, beat down the Raiders. Despite everything going against them, they got it done, and we're going to get into it today live, right now, here. And I hope you guys are ready for it because I know it's been a long time coming. We're going to get into it right now on RGR Football. Okay, I'm here, you're here, you guys are here, and that's what's important. Welcome to RGR Football. We are live post-game as the Chiefs win Monday Night Football by 1 point against them Raiders, despite everybody and their mother trying to give it back to Las Vegas as much as they could. How you doing, Daniel?
I was unprepared for this stream. I ran upstairs, and I'm still in shock because that was a game that shouldn't have gotten that close. Nope. Shouldn't even have been in question. But at the end of the day, Spags actually let them play a little physical with the corners. You got a little bit of timing thrown off, just a little bit, enough to make receivers run into each other, and we see how that impacts the play. So my heartbeat is it's going.
Well, kudos to Jalen Watson. He had a rough night, came back, relied on his play, played his game. He's a physical, lengthy corner that needs to use it. He can't run over the top with everybody. He has to rely on deep safeties. He did his job. I question a couple things. We're going to get into it all, but the takeaway for me is you didn't show up in the first quarter, and yet you were able to rally. We saw second half adjustments. We saw this team go, not today. We're going to get this done. I mean, is there anything more satisfying for you than seeing Patrick Mahomes actually go after somebody from the sideline?
No, I love that. Also, Andy Reid getting after the referees at halftime. Like, this kind of stuff can't happen. It shouldn't take a potentially game-altering penalty to do this to a team. It shouldn't take that. But at the end of the day, they were able to get their butts in gear. And it did seem like that was the play that turned it for him. So, I mean, the offense finally got humming. Once they got humming, the defense couldn't really do much to get pressure on Mahomes. And that's what I like to see. They did find some ways. The offensive line sorely missed Trey Smith. As much as I like Nick Allegretti, there was a physicality missing from this offensive line today. And that was not good to see. It was not fun to watch the offensive line get bullied. But, I mean, give the Raiders credit. They came out and they established their line of scrimmage. Max Crosby is so good, guys. He's so good. So good. So, yeah.
I tell you what, I was a little appalled at that because that would have been a flip-flop back to the other where you let somebody get physical on you. And I'm glad. I was really glad to see that they bowed up and, like, grew some freaking spine because, folks, I know I said I would share my notes with you after this game. I can't. This is not for children.
This is a bad here. There's so much. I've already almost swore like 20 times since we started 3 minutes ago. Like, it's
if y'all missed the very beginning of this show, I nearly cussed right there, and that's just how fired up I am. You guys, I will start sharing my notes with you. We'll put them on NFL 33 at some point so you can have them. These, I cannot put this into the public atmosphere, even for a narrower crowd. End of the day, back and forth. Like I said, Jalen Watson, I thought had a back and forth day, right? So did the kicking game. Had that bad miss, came up large there, missed again. I want your opinion because I think they almost made this more treacherous by going for two. What do you think?
They did, but at the same time, like, I understand it. You want to put a little bit more pressure on the Raiders by going for two, but at the end of the day, I think it's just as much to have to get the touchdown and the 2-point conversion, which they didn't end up getting anyway. Yep. So, I mean, either way, it would have been 1-2 points. So I'm not like mad about it. It just kind of is what it is at this point. I'm more mad at them for not going for it on 4th and 3 and throwing it deep on 3rd and 3.
That was mine. That was mine. Like, you need 4 yards. It's all you need.
If
yards.
Just run the ball and then run it again on 4th down. I don't care. Like, figure it out. Figure it out. Like, this offensive line, regardless of how they got manhandled up front, they can get 4 yards in 2 goes. They can. I don't care.
My guy Dave is back. Dave,
welcome. What up, Dave?
In a long time. Dave is one of our longest tenured members here. Good to see you, buddy. I am flabbergasted. I thought they came out. I thought they were running weak. I didn't think Clyde was running hard. I didn't think the O-line was blocking hard. I thought the only guy who had any spark outside of Mahomes was McKinnon at first. And then somehow they found it. I don't know if Andy got in their butt at halftime or what, but they found it and it clicked and it started off. And that's great. But this shouldn't have to happen every dang time.
Mm-hmm.
This is not what a championship team does. Yes, they're squeaking out wins. Yes, they Spags stubbornly put Fenton out there over and over and over and didn't adjust. You saw me have to, like, I was more active on Twitter during this game than I have been probably all season because I don't like to do that. I like to focus. Yeah. But when I need to vent, folks, you'll find it on Twitter because you're putting Fenton in a position he can't win. Later, when you switch Snead to him and put a safety over the top, all of a sudden,
he's gone.
He doesn't get targeted anymore.
He's gone. Like, that's why when I tweet, I'm like, I'm not going to fault Fenton anymore. Spags is putting him in a position that he can't win. It's not his fault. He is not the player that can do it. So you can't fault the player. You have to fault the coach. He is putting him in a bad position. And it happened over and over and over again. And it almost happened on the touchdown throw, or the near touchdown to Mac Hollins. He is not that kind of player. He can't single up Mac Hollins. He can't single up Devontae Adams. They're lucky that the one Thornhill is an insane athlete and was able to get up and get his hands on that football. Otherwise, it's a touchdown.
Yeah. I mean, and kudos to Juan for getting it done because he did get a hand on it, but Mac had 2. Like, he wrangled that away and not allow it to go down the other way. That was pretty nice. It's not quite all pro, but he's getting there. Quentin, thank you for the support, folks. I know you put your super chats in. I am going to get to them all. We guarantee you. There's a lot of other questions. We'll answer them tonight too, because I really can't say half of what I typed tonight. So we might as well answer more questions. But yes, giving you heart attacks, like, yeah, the cardiac kids, like, I'm here for it. Don't even get me started. Just wait a couple minutes. If y'all came for the fire, I tried to give you a little taste early. We'll talk about Chris Jones and the refs here coming up, and then you might have to send the children to bed. That just
you might. We might have to put the for adult only on in a few minutes, guys.
Yeah, NSFW. I'm just going to say it now. Love seeing the Raiders running into each other. Yeah, legend. I mean, that's, you know. And it's funny, it's Keystone Kids, whatever you want to say. But that was because of the pressure. Like, it wasn't a jam to stop all jams, but it was enough to knock him off of his route. And that's what we always talk about. That's disrupting the route. That's disrupting the timing. That's why Carr can't do anything after that. Mm-hmm. Because you saw him, like, flip prayers all night because he doesn't have the ability to make things up on the run. And that's why he can't get it done. I'm going to be okay. It's going to be all right. My kids aren't even home yet. They're coming home from practice like, Dad, what's wrong with you? Casey Rich, we got damn lucky tonight. Why do the Chiefs keep taking their foot off the gas? Dan, like, how did this happen? Like, how did they come out flat against a division rival?
I don't know. I mean, I listened to the Travis Kelce and Jason Kelce podcast, and Travis Kelce talked about this. He talked about getting up for the Raiders. They, for whatever reason, this is sandwiched between the Colts game where they didn't come out and maybe they looked ahead to the Buccaneers. You figure they would have learned from that. Guess what? Monday night, they come out flat again with the Bills up next. This kind of stuff loses games, it loses playoff games, and it loses championships, okay? When you don't have the ability to get engaged for a single game, 1 week at a time, you're going to lose games. And in all honesty, regardless of how well they looked in the second half after the Chris Jones thing, they should have lost that game. They absolutely should have lost that game. But they didn't because you had 2 Raiders receivers running into each other. Otherwise, Spags can't stop anything. He could not stop them.
Yeah, it was tough. And it was specific there. Like, they couldn't do one or the other. When they try to take the pass, they got successful for a while. Then the run comes back. Then they try to take away the run, and then the passes start happening. Somebody's saying in the chat that was Josh Williams out there at the end. Maybe I missed that. I can't rewind it anymore.
I did see Josh Williams on the field, so I'm not sure what was.
Okay, but was that him on Adams doing the reroute?
If I recall correctly, yes, he was on the outside there. So it was
okay. Good for him. I did not catch that number, so I was just trying to rewind. It didn't work. Lot going on here, folks. We're going to get to your super chats here momentarily. And Quentin, I appreciate you. Kevin, all you guys. You guys. Okay, I can't read that one, but yeah, okay. Let's go to Matt. Why did Mahomes throw that last pass? Because he had an opportunity. McColl had turned the corner, and he had a foot on that DB. If McColl runs under that, that's a touchdown.
Honestly, I'm throwing that one on Mahomes.
Yeah.
You need a first down, and Hardman's speed is not to angle. It's to cut it off, and he cut it off right. He was open, and Mahomes let him upfield. Get the first down. Stop messing around. Yep. That was on Mahomes, and I don't care what anybody says. I'm going to put it on him.
I just think you get so excited, and I think he wanted to make a point, and I think he was a little fired up too. It's lucky that it didn't bounce back on him there. And kudos to the defense for standing up when they had to. We keep giving the defense props when they allow 30 points, or in this case 29. But in the end, that is what it is. You have to stop somebody sometime when you need it. And it may not be the best performances, but it's getting enough to get less points on the board for the opponents. That's what matters. Nathan, how are you supposed to tackle a quarterback? Well, everybody did tackling of the quarterback well tonight, because you saw them whip around Patrick at one point, which was nearly the same thing as what happened to Brady that got the flag yesterday.
No, it was.
Flag was BS. Was it?
I watched them back to back. There was someone that posted on Twitter. It's back to back. It's the same exact thing. You can't do it, but guess what? You could do it to Mahomes tonight, but Chris Jones can't brace himself with the ball in his hand and fall on Derek Carr when the possession had changed.
And that's the key. It's not roughing the passer when he does.
He's a defender now. He's no longer the quarterback. He's a defender. I think we may have lost Ryan. The internet kind of cut out for him.
So I pounded the table so hard that my microphone came unplugged. So did my camera. So hopefully you can hear me now. Nothing?
I can't hear you now.
Okay, well.
There it goes. I can hear you.
Now you can hear me? Okay, good.
Yeah, I can hear you.
What I was saying is I pounded the table so hard that my microphone and camera came unplugged. So apologies, professional here. Sometimes I lose it too. I'm used to fight up the Super Bowl as the Super Bowl night. The NFL has their work cut out for them. You're absolutely right, Patrick. They got to get a handle on this. And it's one thing when another quarterback who I had somebody actually ask me, why won't Troy say that Patrick passed him on touchdowns? Because
why would he?
Troy is a vain, arrogant SOB, and he will not do that.
It was never even brought up. No one mentioned it. No one talked about it. They just moved right on.
Oh. Why did we run a 30-yard pass when we needed 3 yards to throw the ball? You're absolutely right, Quinn. That is the question. Because Andy's Andy, and because they figured they had the defense pulled up, they're going to have a shot. I don't know. Has Mahomes fixed his Bengals' mental problems? That's a great question, Tactics. Dan, what do you think?
For me, he's kind of going back into what he's comfortable with. And right now he's developing trust. Obviously, we have Travis Kelce, who caught 4 touchdowns in the red zone. He's the only guy who apparently can get open anymore. And MVS is starting to emerge as a guy that he's going to funnel the football to. And who else? This is.
I thought Juju was solid. I thought Juju did the tough work tonight.
I honestly, I think Juju played like crap.
Yeah. Okay.
And when he dropped that ball that Mahomes put away from him to shield him from incoming Abraham, his body language absolutely pissed me off. I wanted to yank him from the game, completely yank him, because he wasn't mentally in the game. And I felt like he had the good play, getting them down inside the 5-yard line. That was a good play. But other than that, I don't see him getting open very much. I don't see him really doing much to garner playing time over Sky Moore. I don't.
Okay. Well, he is hurt. He does have the experience. I think that's why maybe I'm giving him a little bit of a break. We'll see what happens. On review, let's see if your opinion changes. I don't know.
We'll see.
Yeah, you never know.
I was pissed off at a lot of these guys. So it very well just could be my blinding red anger from watching this game.
Tactics. I think he's fixed it sometimes. You notice they got back to the quick game to start the second half, and that's how they got back on track. That really was the key. And now that he knows it, he can go back to that, and it's a quicker transition, and it's not like such a shift of mentality. I think they're going to be more nimble with it, and I think that will end up being the cure for it. What was the beef going on with Crosby and Mahomes? Just Crosby likes to talk. He's got a big mouth, and that's okay.
That's fine.
When you're that good, you should.
You guys. I'm telling you what, he's so good. Like
but normally Patrick is like, hey, you did a good job. Like, he defuses situation. I like to see him fired up.
No, I think he was. I think it was pretty obvious that they needed something. He was trying to get himself engaged too, along with everyone else, to stay engaged in that game. So taking a little battle with an opponent who has already sacked him twice is something that I like to see.
Yeah, me too. I mean, and here's the thing, because you're not going to get away from him. He's a young guy too. You're going to see it over and over and over, and I think that's good. Chiefs and Troyer, I like your point about MVS. This is what MVS is. If you guys think that he's going to become like Davante, he's not. He's going to have that easy drop in games all the time. That's not going away. But I agree with you. When he turned and he broke his routes off, he was quicker out of his breaks tonight. That's what was allowing him to actually separate on a couple of those routes. It wasn't drastic. It's not Tyreek separation, but it's still separation for a guy that's got, 36-inch arms. That helps. So, yeah. And Sky Moore, those little tunnels behind either the big wide receivers or the tight ends.
All day.
I mean,
honestly, I would have done it again.
Yeah,
I would have gone right back to it.
Do it.
I don't know why they didn't do it. If you can get them moving, then you can start running and counter the other way. You could do so many different things, but no. My daughter's asleep. She will wake up.
Tactics, I hear you. That last sack, I heard it too. I was like, are they really? Well, okay. You have to remember the crowd is going with the music that's playing, right?
Yeah.
I heard the chop start a couple of times, and I know they're trying to get away from the chop, so I don't care. As long as they're celebrating, the crowd won them multiple downs this game, so I'll give it to them. As long as they're going to make noise. Yeah, I mean, honestly, when you take it that far, you, Chiefs Kingdom, won this ball game. Now we're like 20 minutes into this already, and I haven't said, if you don't know us, he's Dan, I'm Ryan. This is RGR Football. Make sure you sub right now and hit the like if you dig this one. If you're tired of me talking already, then I don't know why you're still here, so hit the like anyway on your way out the door. Yeah. That said, we have a lot more to go over. Why are we covering 17 with Jalen Watson and Brian Cook? I will tell you this. Cook bid on it because he hasn't played Adams before. The reason that play happened is because both the guys on him have never played Davante Adams before. And they think, he's got that kind of thicker body. Like, he can't run away from me. Oh, yes, he can. That was on Cook. And Cook's my guy. I will be real with you. He bit too hard. He has to stay back. That's his job. Honestly, and what I said at halftime, it should have been Thornhill over the top of everything, no matter where Adams went. That's what it should have been.
No matter what. Because it was so frustrating when I saw it was two rookies out there on that side. I'm like, it's not their fault. It's not their fault because they don't have the reps to be able to not bite on that. And that's what he did in Green Bay. He did it so many times in Green Bay. Just a little, hey, guess what? I'm going to turn my head and slow down, and I'm going to run right by you. And I feel for him because they're both going to be good players. But at the end of the day, you're put in a position that you can't win. And just got to tip your hat to Davante for saying, hey, guys, I got two rookies on me. Peace. As soon as he bent, he was like, I'm open.
Yo, Carr. Oh, man. I tell you what. I was glad to see they both rebounded because I was a little worried about confidence being shaken by that. Because Davante can do that. And you guys, if you remember when I broke down my top 5 receivers last year, everybody's mad at me because I didn't have Tyreek Hill number 1. Well, that guy, Davante Adams, was number 1. That's why. Like, he is that good. And I think that we have to remember that as much. Max Carnage, I'm going to get to you later. You're going in time order. I will get to you because you have a very good point, and I think I agree with you, Max. We'll get to that coming up. Thundarius, hope you're doing well. Thanks for the support. This was over after the BS penalty. Angry Reed came out, and I won't like him when he's angry. Yes, I won't like him either. He turns green. I got to tell you, though, shouldn't have to be a terrible penalty to get somebody fired up. This team has to come out with more edge from the go. You are a Super Bowl champion in the last 3 seasons. You've been to 4 FC championships. Act like it. Bring some nasty, for God's sake. It shouldn't take one player and Trey Smith going down for your offensive line to lose their attitude.
Like, did they watch the Bills play? Did they watch that game where they were backed up on the 2-yard line and they threw a 98-yard touchdown pass to Gabe Davis? And they, guess what? They didn't stop. They didn't stop. They came out for that game. And the Chiefs don't come out for football games. They wait until they get woken up. That's something that you can't have. If they do that on Sunday, be prepared for another thing of what happened last year.
Dang it.
What happened?
Just announced Turk Wharton tore his ACL.
Yeah, he was out from the beginning. I didn't know what happened, but I knew that he wasn't playing.
Okay, that sucks. Yeah.
But big ups to Colin Saunders, guys. Dude was all over the place. They are going to need some defense tackle help now, though. And it's not great. Not great.
No, and now they're thin. That's going to be tough. Okay, we'll deal with that tomorrow and this week, folks. Cheers to 1,000 of you in here. Hit that thumbs up if you would. All you new subs and new members, thank you very much. We're getting to the super chats here as we go through. Feel like Karlaftis spends too much time with his face buried in the ground for being pancaked. It's embarrassing. I understand what you're saying, bandwagon, but you got to remember he's a rookie. He can't walk in and be that good. And quite frankly, he's used to overwhelming people with power. When guys have a counter, he gets caught off a little balance. It's going to develop. And quite frankly, I think he's doing really well in producing pressure. He got his first sack tonight. Like, I'm seeing progress from Karlaftis. I'm pretty happy, actually.
Was it a full sack or was it a half sack? Because I'm pretty sure
I think officially they gave him the full. I don't know. I have the official stats here. But here, would you take, let's see. Here, give me your take on this.
All right. Thank you, Rob.
Thank you guys for the super chats.
Everybody. Love y'all being in here. Do they not want to give Pacheco the ball? So they've already shown willingness to do this in games where it's out of hand, where they don't have it in hand. They don't rely on rookies. Sky Moore, for example. When the offense started getting rolling, you saw him get out there a little bit more. But they went with experience, and the way that this offensive line was not opening up holes does not bode well for Pacheco, because we've seen Clyde he was hit in the backfield on almost every single play he had in terms of the run game. A couple of them not, but McKinnon was able to get some yards, some jump cuts. He turned the clock back a few different times in this game himself, which was nice to see. But it was a game that did not bode well for Pacheco. He needs what happened last Sunday. He needs an offensive line that's going to come out, open up some holes. And even if he's not open up holes immediately, needs some push, because he can be more patient. He can wait, and then he can hit a cut and explode. It'll get there. It's gonna come. But in games like this, where they're getting manhandled at the line of scrimmage over a defensive line, they're gonna go with McKinnon and Clyde very heavily.
Yeah, and they have to. And Quentin, you're absolutely going to get a rant from me this week. And if you missed my one 2 weeks ago when they stunk it up against Indy, you guys can go back and check that one out. You just got to be a member. You can join the memberships below. And here's another deal. You gave me a good idea, Quentin. I will put my notes up in Discord. If you want to be a member of the Discord, you got to be a member of the memberships here on the channel. Go ahead and join those and send me an email at RGR Podcast. We have an automation that FLDB has set up. We're going to get to that. I'm just not sure if it's 100% yet, so send me an email anyway, rgrpodcast@gmail.com. But yes, I'll put it up there because all of you guys are members, and then it's not like in the public domain with me cussing on paper and stuff like that. So, but yes, Quentin, I will definitely get you one of those. Let's see. Pacheco question.
Sorry, guys.
Daryl, Fire Spags, and Bienema. I don't think it's to that point, Daryl. I will say that Spags did some good adjustments. I felt like they were more well prepared against the run. I didn't see so many gap blow-ups against the run in the second half, so I feel better about that.
Just don't forget, guys, You lose Wharton in this game. You lost Frank Clark at halftime because his stomach bug was getting him. Mike Dana hurt. Willie Gay not playing. Trent McDuffie hurt. Like, there is a lot to this defense that isn't there for him at his disposal. And as much as I think that he failed himself in this game by putting players in poor situations to not succeed, he's also doing it with nearly half of a defense out there. He's got starters not there. So he's trying to do everything he can with what he has, and it's sometimes not enough because he doesn't have the same type of talent throughout the roster that you're going to have with your starters in there.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, this is what I'm worried about, because we're in a situation I see a lot of you guys talking about OBJ and Brian Burns. That ain't happening unless they convert Patrick's salary. They got nothing.
Yeah,
they
no,
got
they got
$480K available right now. They can't sign somebody off the street to vet min right now. So the only thing they can do is go to the piggy bank and take stuff out of Patrick, which just rolls his cap number down the line, which I think effectively, if they do it now, it makes his extension a necessity a year earlier. And I think that's what's holding them back. Yeah. So for right now, that's not going to happen. If you hear about them going to Patrick and changing that contract around, then it's on.
Yeah.
Did the refs get a call at halftime? Tyler, it's a very good point. I wish I didn't get the clip uploaded in time to start the stream, but I swear to God, Sheffers was shivering as he made that one announcement.
It's all over Twitter, dude. It's everywhere. He was not. I think he was mentally. He was a little scared for his life, a little bit, when he was calling stuff, man.
I mean, honestly, and I don't think anybody in Kansas City be violent like that. I think you'd be in much worse shape if you were still in Oakland, that's for sure. But all you got to do is walk out of the stadium with Andy, and you're going to be okay. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, he's not going to let that happen. But yeah, I mean, it was visible, and I agreed. Like, somebody got in there and said, "Hey, you better start getting this stuff right." At the end of the day,
something happened.
Tactics. Darn Andy up 1 point and trying to run the clock. Well, they threw the ball several times as well, so I thought it was a decent mix.
I have no issues with them. I want them to throw it. I want them to throw it. I want them to go for it, go for the jugular. And Andy still, he has this internal struggle with the best quarterback in the NFL. Don't have it. There shouldn't be an internal struggle. Let him conduct the 2-minute offense in these situations. I'm kind of done with Andy Reid having control over these situations. Mahomes has now done it enough. He's been there. He knows how to execute the offense. He knows how to read the defense. Let him do it, because Andy Reid is going to cost them more of these games than he's going to win them.
Yeah, it could come down to that. Like, it's to play it safe pretty much in all areas is the way it's working out. Daryl, what is the O-line going to do against Buffalo? See, that's what I don't fear. They don't seem to have a problem getting up for good teams. It's all this lackadaisical teams they should beat that they forget to come to the office. I swear.
They did last year against the Bills. They didn't show up.
I guess that's true.
I think this year they might be a little different. I got a feeling.
Okay. I hope you're right. I really don't want to see it anymore, I got to tell you. Baker, good point. I'll be really happy when the McDuffie's coming back soon. Yeah, he was up and walking around practice. That's a good sign.
Yeah.
Lil Caddy, thank you. 2 things. 1, refs in self-preservation mode of the second. Yes. 2, Josh Williams went on with Devontae at the end of the game. Is fixable offense for Spags. Yeah, I mean, at least that last one, it was Juan that had the interior. He had the 2 receiver. The only problem is, again, who are they going to go to? You have Renfro and Adams on one side. He's not throwing to anybody else. He's going to throw to one of those guys. So why don't you have them both in man with a safety over the top? Why are you putting them in one-on-one situations?
I would have loved to see Spags overload the left side and just drop some guys into coverage on the right side.
Right.
I would have loved to see it. But you don't get everything you want.
But then if it didn't work, I'd be bitching that he was too aggressive.
let me ask you a question.
Uh-oh.
Are you ready to panic about the Chiefs tackle situation?
I'm close. I will say they got their act together in the second half and slowed things down. If they had played that way the whole game, I would say, okay, we don't have to break the glass. But the problem is there's nothing you can do.
No, I
don't have the money. You can't trade him. No one's going to trade for him. So what? I don't think there's a solution here this season. is my problem.
Niang, where are you at? Where are you at, buddy?
Yeah, Niang, show up.
Where are you at, buddy?
Man.
This is your chance. You think you could start in the NFL?
Yeah.
Please, come show it.
We'd like to see it. Travis, thank you for the super sticker. Appreciate your support, buddy. Tactics, why we're letting Devontae get behind safeties. That was just a mistake on Cook's part. Just didn't quite realize how fast Devontae was. Like, you see him, he bid on that first move, and that was because he should have still been over the top. Just got misaligned, and that's just being a rookie. I don't think that was by their design either. Why did Mahomes have better protection in the second half? Honestly, I think it came down to two factors for me, because I was wondering that as well. As I'm looking, I felt like they were just playing more basic sets. I felt like they just let Orlando go back to doing a 45-degree set, do your thing, use your length. Don't try to jump set. It gets spun inside. Don't try to overreach. Just do what you do well and see if it works. And I thought it slowed him down enough. What did you think?
Honestly, I didn't get enough to see what he was specifically doing. I think the biggest factor was they were getting the ball out quick. Mahomes was moving up and down the field, and the defense was dog tired. They were exhausted because Mahomes was just he was gouging them. Yeah, like he was gouging them, and Chandler Jones was just like, dude, what do I do? Like, the pass rush couldn't get there because they just kept chunking him to death. And the one thing that sticks out was that 3rd and long 3 different times that they just said, hey, we're going to get it here. We're going to get it here. We're going to get it here. And it doesn't matter what you do because we're going to get it again. That's really what I thought did really help them out a bit.
Justin, I'm not sure. Let me know what you need. I thought Stevie was in here before. We should have a mod in here or two. I'm just not positive, but let me know what you need. I'll try to hover on that.
Oh,
chat.
No, Justin.
Yeah, just throw up a flare, buddy. Zitro, thank you for the support. Pass rush was the biggest difference in the game, but I would argue that Mahomes has shown some glaring flaws in adjusting to Tyreek Hill. He's still been great, though. I feel like it's the same flaws. Do you think that there's new things?
I don't think there's anything new. I think it's the same. And again, you're still trying to adjust to brand new weapons. Like, you're trying to figure out what is going to be best for them. I think he's understanding what MVS is going to do. Today, MVS brought his hands with him. Yeah, he dropped a pass, but he brought his hands with him today. You like to see that. That's not going to be an everyday thing, an every game thing. So you're going to have to kind of live and die with that. I'm really hopeful they start to get Sky more involved. They were actively trying to get Hardman more involved in this game, and his heel appears to be absolutely disrupting him at times, and then he's right back on the field next. So I don't understand what's going on there. If he's hurt, rest him. What are we doing? Why would you limit your fastest player with a heel injury? What are we doing?
Honestly, because I think they were disillusioned with what MVS and Juju's performance has been in the last 2 weeks. They feel they can't put him down for good for like a 3-week stint. I think they should. He's got a heel contusion. Clearly, he's probably got some plantar fasciitis because that usually comes along with that injury. And so you step on it wrong and it flares up and it's bad for a few days, and then it'll generally heal a little bit, but you just keep re-injuring it. And this is the problem.
As someone who has bone spurs in both of his feet and that's causing like plantar fascia issues, rest up.
Yeah. You need him in the long.
You can't walk, man.
Quentin, here's just one to show support, but since I've got your attention, what's your win prop against the Bills? Well, thank you, Quentin. My win prop. Do you mean probability or a prop bet?
I would imagine probability.
Okay. I've got the Chiefs 55% right now. And that's basically just because if they play like they played last week, they win. If they play like they played tonight, they lose. Look, I don't know who they are. Look,
I'm going to tell you guys something. You're not going to like it. The Bills are a better team than the Chiefs are right now. I don't think it's particularly close. It's at home. That's good for them. If they play like the way they played against the Buccaneers, that would be one hell of a game to watch. I'm just watching Josh Allen throw into 25-mile-an-hour wind and it not be impacted at all. I'm watching their offense do whatever they want to. I'm watching their defense be really, really good. Von Miller's an animal. Right now, I just think they're a better team. That doesn't mean that the Chiefs can't win. I think that they're better.
Yeah, there certainly were this week. Now, I think what you see in the NFL right now is the parity is so good that nobody's the same team every week.
Yes,
yet,
that's very true.
So let's see what happens. Again, this is a kick in the teeth. The Raiders always play you tough. It's a divisional rival. Everything has to be dumbed down. But, I mean, it shouldn't have been this close. There's no way around it.
Nope.
Kevin White, Pacheco play only 2 offensive snaps. I think they gave him a shot. He either didn't feel it or they didn't feel that he felt it. And they had to go back and try McKinnon. And I think what they realized is, they just weren't opening up the gaps long enough. They were crashing down in the A's. You had to attack the B gaps. And that's what McKinnon does. He's a slicer. So let him run.
I wonder if he would have gotten any chance at any kick returns if they would have let him run a little bit more. But he couldn't get anything, no like mental game going. He got none of his legs moving. Like he was unable to do much. So
it was cold.
Yeah. So I wonder if he couldn't physically get going in the game, and if they're already rotating 3 guys in and out, and he just seemed like that juice guy, getting some kick returns would have helped him, I think, maybe get more involvement in the game. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, I think that's a great point. Dez, thank you for the support. Without McDuffie, I'm legit worried about the Bills on defense, as we should be. My guy Shakir finally got going for the Bills. Like, that's just another weapon for them to use. The only thing right now is they didn't have Dawson Knox this weekend. I'm not sure what they're going to have next week. And Knox has been a thorn in the side of the Chiefs. They've been able to take away Diggs fairly well in matchups, but Knox has always got him. So let's hope that he's not available, and let's see how it comes out. But yeah, they know they have to get up for that. This was, again, another matchup where I feel like they know what they have next week, and they just kind of like, we're going to do the minimum to get by here. And that's when it bites them. Did you all see Adams push the guy at the end of the game on his way?
I just saw the video.
I did not.
A cameraman was walking him out through the tunnel, and he pushed him down.
The cameraman?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Shout out to, I don't know if he's in here, but Joshua just sent me the link on Twitter. Whew.
Cheers, Josh. Here, I'm going to let you answer a question. I'm going to go look at that.
All right. Yeah, go ahead. All right. Thanks for the super chat again, Quentin. Appreciate you. How many years do we see 2-hand touch only for second quarterbacks? It's not that far off with the way they're doing it right now. It's just, I don't know, man. Like, this entire frustration with getting to tackle quarterbacks and actually having it be game changing shouldn't be an issue. If he tackles him, fine. But if there should be an obvious point of no return with the malicious intent, like throwing down a quarterback. Okay, fine. Taking him and like putting his head onto the ground, like throwing it into the ground, probably a bad thing. But what Mahomes got done today, what happened to Tom Brady yesterday, they're not flags in my opinion. They're not. So the roughing the passer against Tom Brady should have been picked up and not enforced today like it wasn't. So it's all just a crap fest, man.
Yeah, it's the way to
I just want to address people talking about the Bills only putting up 20 against the Ravens. The Chiefs lost to the Colts. So you can say what you want to about them struggling in a game. The Chiefs lost to the Colts. So I mean, sorry.
And it's funny. Everybody has those, like it is the individual matchups.
Yeah.
Like certain teams with certain personnel, they just match up well or have like some experience. Like we all talked about how Wiley had a pretty good matchup against Crosby because he knows him, right?
Yeah.
Well, Crosby knows him too and knew that if he set him outside, he was going to be able to spin back in. Like, so like it's a give and take.
Yeah.
So a lot of those matchups can cut both ways. That's just the way that it goes. But I agree with you. They got to settle down on this rule and get it done.
Yeah.
Let's see. Jaden's TPT Chiefs football podcast. Check him out. LA, Oakland, LV. Doesn't matter. We still own them. Go KC. I like
that's
it.
Right.
You even made like a little haiku there, Jaden.
At the end of the day, man, that W is all that matters.
Right? And that's exactly what Doug is saying. Sloppy game, but a win's a win. And that's really what it comes down to. Wins are the only thing that give you home field advantage, and that's all I care about. So I love ranting with you on Twitter. It's therapeutic, and watching Skyrun make me want to see him on some of those crossing routes MVS was eating on. I agree with you, Kyle, and thank you. Yes, sometimes you just got to let it out. You got to let it out, man.
Mm-hmm. I always have to.
I certainly feel like Sky will do well when he gets those, but I love the fact that they have some little things for him right now to kind of get his feet wet and get him eating. I think it's going to be great. I'm very optimistic. This is a great one for you, Dan. Katie wants to know, and Katie, welcome. Love it when the ladies are here, and cheers for
Appreciate
the support.
you.
Has Watson officially replaced Fenton?
I don't think that's a question. I think Fenton is clearly the worst corner. Honestly, no one's gonna like this. I'd be putting Joshua Williams in there at this point. I'm kind of done with Rashad Fenton, and that's no offense to him. He is what he is, and that's what I said coming into the season.
Hear me out. Rashad Fenton moves to safety and knocks the snot out of everybody.
You want to know when the best when he was playing? His rookie season when they used him as a third safety.
Right? Yeah, that's my thought. Him, Cook, Juan, and Reed. I mean,
I'm fine with that, but
I am too. It's the one-on-one against quicker, faster wide receivers that he gets hurt. That's
even bigger receivers. It doesn't matter. He doesn't match up well one-on-one with anybody. This is the problem. I've seen people talking about we shouldn't have let Charvarius Ward go. Charvarius Ward can't guard anybody one-on-one. Like if he has safety help over the top,
sure.
and sometimes if he's good position, good. Sure. When he's got anyone breaking across his face, he loses. And I'm trying not to crap on guys because Charvarius Ward was so good for what he was. I respect the crap out of him for getting paid. Like, love it. Chiefs couldn't afford him. And honestly, it worked out in the best interests of the Chiefs going forward to let him walk. In my opinion.
agree with you. Yeah, I mean, that's just what has to happen. And then I just typed that in the wrong screen. Sorry, folks. I was going to tell you something. Daryl, Ryan, stop making excuses for Mahomes. Dan, you're absolutely right. Now all you got to do is tell Mahomes. Okay, I don't remember what we're talking about.
I'm not gonna tell Patrick Mahomes to his face anything. If he wants to listen and then come tell me I'm wrong, I'm okay with that. I'll admit it. I'll be the bigger man, Patrick. We can help each other out. We can help each other out.
Rock and roll. And thank you, Daryl. I appreciate your support, even if I need to stop making excuses. I'm not sure what I was excusing him for.
I don't know.
Rock and roll. I will take that to heart, Daryl. Too quick, too. Thank you for the support. MVS was very underrated when he was at the Packers. He's underrated now. He can flow a lot more in this offense to him. Yes, I think you can. I'm just trying to say he is going to have those concentration drops. It is going to happen. I don't know why, but there are just some guys that if you put it right here on their numbers, they don't do as well as when you put it way the heck out here.
It was
ridiculous. They have to go get it.
It's because this is why I don't have to concentrate when it's on point. I can look ahead and look for my running lane. If he has to go out here outside of his frame, I have to concentrate on that football. If it's here, can I get some yak on this play?
Yeah. Where am I going here?
That's what that is.
Where'd who go? That's why. But I agree with you. I think you can put more chunk on him. Like I said earlier in the season, I do feel like he's the guy that's going to eat up yards. I think Juju's going to be the guy that's going to bring on the touchdowns. I think Juju's injuries have really held him back to this point, but I do think that there'll be a 1-2 punch eventually.
Yeah.
Just hoping they can get him there. Tom Flora, hope you're doing well, buddy.
Tom?
Thanks for the support. Was it just me or the refs never could make up a call in the collective minds on any call tonight? So many bad calls and huddling up.
Well,
yeah.
I like the huddles personally. I feel
more chances to get it right. Yeah.
I feel like when they do, they get it right. Like you look at the MVS where the guy touched his helmet, like they huddled, they got that call right. Like it seems those are the calls that they actually get right the majority of the time. But I mean, we're not going to talk about the roughing the passer nonsense because but
nothing we can do about that.
I do think that it's a good practice for them personally.
Thank you, Tom. Appreciate you. Justin, again, let me know if there's anything in there. I didn't see anything else from you. Let me know what you need the mod for. Kelce goes God mode tonight for TD's right returning, 33 years old. How many years does he have left for prime Trav?
I mean,
I want to see the snap counts from tonight because, yes, he did that, but he wasn't running down the field a lot. So that's one plus. And it looked like they spelled him at times, and I'm happy about that.
Yeah.
Because if you can get him down to like 75, 80% of the snaps, I think that buys him 2 more years.
And the playoffs. Like it's no longer about the racking up thousands of yards. I mean, he's still probably going to get there regardless. It's about longevity for the season because you're going to be somewhere at the end of the season. So Travis Kelce needs to be the guy. Like you can spell him and he still gets 4 touchdowns. Come on, what are we talking about here? That dude's nuts. He's nuts.
Thank you. I appreciate you, Justin. And too quick, you're back. Thank you again. Dan, cheer up a little. In 10 years, this will be the game that we say, remember when the best tight end of all time caught 4 tutties?
I got no issues with that. We just reminisced that a little bit. I just like to they get me fired up. Okay. The Chiefs get me fired up. You guys, if you ever watched me watch a football game, I am just like you. Ask my wife. I am just like you. That's why I can't do the streams. Like, I can't do it for the channel because I can't put that side of me out into the public. It's not appropriate because I do try my best, if you guys haven't noticed, to be as independent from my fan self as I can when I'm here. There's still going to be some parts of that, but I try to be real with you and try to tell you what I really think. But if I'm watching a football game, I'm telling you right now, there's not one part of me, unless I'm sitting there calmly talking to my wife about football, that is going to be able to be objective. I'm going to be pissed off. I'm going to be yelling. I'm going to be pacing up and down the floor. I'm going to be talking about the calls. So yeah, I try.
Looks like my stream.
Yeah, it looks like your stream's gone. All right, everybody. Not sure what happened to Ryan here. All right, so I'm going to try to hear this up here. Appreciate you, Avery. I feel like we missed Trey in the running game. It's just better when it's those three. Not that Nick was horrible, but it wasn't the same. You're not wrong. I just also feel like everybody else in the run game didn't get anything going. Like they felt lethargic. And when you can't come out the way that they did against the Buccaneers and impose your will, it kind of trickles down to everybody. I just didn't feel that from anybody. But I do think that Trey is one of the guys that does that. So I'm right there with you on that. Definitely.
And that's why you have backup equipment. Because sometimes things go badly. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, sweet. Okay. Rock and roll. So, yeah, folks, this is the other view of the studio. Hope you dig that. Yeah. We'll see if the power comes back up for the other one. I am on battery now, so we're not going to go too much farther. We're going to have to go through the rest of the super chats. We're going to get those right now. Avery had a comment. I feel we missed Trey the running game. Absolutely. Just think that we're better than those three. Not that Nick was horrible, but he wasn't the same. I think that's fair. Max, do we need to be alarmed? The defense seems to be going backwards in production. You got to be there. There were some pluses and there's some minuses. You got to take a look at how they were hurt. Certainly, I do think that they need to buck up and evolve. What do you think, Dan?
I'll tell you one thing. I think that the most underrated thing about Derek Carr is he makes changes at the line of scrimmage better, if not as good as some of the best in the NFL. He always calls out exactly what is going to be the weakness in that time. And he checked into some runs. He checked us into some passes in this game, and it hurt the defense because they had it set up that way. So I think you give a little bit more credit to Carr as well as take away some from the defense who didn't play with the intensity they should have.
Yeah. King J, we have enough cap for OBJ because we need him badly? No, they don't. Like I said before, they have to take and restructure. They can roll over. I think it's 23 mil if they do the action for Mahomes contract, and then they would have room. Travis just got added another piece of his legacy in the NFL, and they should start making a bust for him in Canton. Kill it, Trav. I agree, and I really want to see his podcast.
This game. It's so good. I can't wait.
And his brother's just going to give him havoc, and I'm here for it. Run game looks so much better from under center. Hey,
did I see it in this game at all? Did they run it once from under center?
Maybe? I thought it was twice.
Okay, cool.
I could be wrong.
Why does it? So, I'm sorry. I know. This happens. Last week, they come out, they run from under center multiple times, and they're able to move the ball and do some play action off of it. And they come back this week, and they just scrap it. What is this?
I got nothing.
I don't know. I'm kind of done with this nonsense, man.
It is a bit silly. I got to give you that. Max, is the kicker fired tomorrow? It all depends on Bucker's back. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Probably not.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say no.
Is he a practice squad signee again? So they can send him back down and keep him?
They can, I think, for one more game, yeah.
Okay, I like that. Too quick, welcome to the memberships. Make sure you give me an email at this one, and me and FLDB will try to get you at it because FLDB is going to modernize Discord for us.
Let's go.
Discord's awesome. I'm just a terrible Discord administrator. FLDB knows what he's doing. He and Stevie and Gooch and Aaron run that thing, and they're a whole lot better than I am. So just send me an email just in case. Tom, say what you want. And our defensive and offensive adjustments at halftime made it a whole different second half. Spags brought it, and Andy made some great calls. For the most part, I agree with you, Tom.
Yeah, I don't have an issue. Like you said, the adjustments in the second half were good, and then when he started to get a little desperate, that's when you started to see the one-on-ones in situations that shouldn't have been.
Yeah, and that's totally fair. Oh yeah, this should have been a 14-point win. I had it as an 11, I think, is what I originally thought, but it is what it is.
I went 38-17, so
yeah, well. Well, thank you, sir. LT said 95's roughing call is BS. He also had the official who threw the flag should be drug tested immediately or under suspension for smoking crack. Now, that's just funny. Now, a lot of people give me crap when I retweeted LT. LT is the greatest pass rusher of all time. There is no question. I don't care about Smith. He is who Derek Thomas based his game on.
Yeah.
That tells you all you need to know. And yes, I know he's got a personal history in drug use and all kinds of bad things that he's done in his life. He's still the authority on pass rushing. So I'm going to quote him every now and then. What's that?
Did you see the video of Devontae Adams?
I did.
Okay. I was about to say, because I sent it to you just now, just in case.
Daryl, is there any way to get a Dan and Ryan rant? We could probably arrange something.
I'm sure that there's a way we can figure that out.
Yeah. I mean, we have to record when no one else is watching is basically what it was.
Yeah. And when no one else is like in the next room.
Yeah. Kids are not home. Can't wait for Gay to come back. Yeah. Nick, man, you are absolutely right. I think that will help. Although I will say this, Harris has been a little up and down, but I think the up has outweighed the down.
100%. That tackle that he had, or the one, I think he got lucky. I think he got lucky on the sack. I think that they were looking for the run and they got play action, so that was lucky. And then he had a nice open field tackle on, I think it was Jacobs in the flat, which was really nice to see. So he's been really up, and like I said, up and down, but really noticing the ups and less the downs.
I agree. Let's see. Jeremy, should the Chiefs look at Ndamukong Suh, or did he sign somewhere? I don't think he has anything left in the tank. I don't think he signed, and I don't think they should sign him.
At this point, could it really hurt their defense? I'm not going to lie. I don't think it would.
Okay, fair enough. I can't really argue. Green Beans, thank you, sir. Appreciate your support. There's not much to brag about. There are some weak spots on offense. Yeah, I mean, they play tackle. I don't know what else to tell you. The guys got to find it in themselves to raise their level of play. There's just no other way to say it.
Just saw some funny guys. Patrick Mahomes has a better winning percentage of games he's down 10+ points than Justin Herbert has in games he's ever played.
Wow. Fire and smoke. I like it. Dang. All right.
Oh, man.
Spags would say, hey, not for nothing. I'm with you, Megs. Thanks for the super chat, buddy.
What up, Megs?
What the heck happened? I just got off work and saw the Raiders Chiefs was close. What happened to our run offense? Will you tell Tatum what happened while I try to get this other machine?
Dude, I got no clue what happened to the run defense. Offense, run defense, like it didn't matter. Honestly, the Raiders running attack in the last couple of weeks has been awesome. They've been moving people up front. And I think if you really look at what the Chiefs do on defense, they don't defend the run well. And they haven't. In the past, they've gotten pretty lucky when they engage and actually look to stop the run. Didn't seem like they were ready for that against the Raiders. So maybe they'll be better prepared next time. Maybe Willie Gay helps that out a little bit. Some better tackling at the line of scrimmage, and from Juan Thornhill coming down to run support will really help that. But at the end of the day, in order to stop a run game, you have to have the mentality the whole way through. You can't come in and think that they're just going to try to throw the ball around and then try to assert yourself as a run defense. That's just not going to work. The offensive line's already fed in. They've already gotten their heels in there. And an offensive line that's not very good, but is playing really well, in my opinion, the last 2 weeks in the Raiders. So they did a good job of exploiting that.
Yeah, I hope that they can continue that, because it is very hunt and peck. Like, you got to attack where you can attack.
Yeah.
It's the way that it goes. Big Chief Sean, everybody say hi to Sean. You can find him here on the channel. You can find him on his channel. Sean, I hope you're doing all right, buddy. Thoughts and everything with you, dude. And yes, Sean had it right. Colin Sanders. Saunders. I always say Sanders. I don't know why I do that. Sorry, Colin. I tell you what, Colin, I'll buy you barbecue next time I'm in town, and we'll talk about the name thing.
Good idea.
Did you watch Adam's clip after the game? Okay.
Oh, yeah. Whew.
Yeah, like I did see a thank you, guys. Yeah, it looked like that the cameraman was like coming from the side. I don't know if
he was just trying to walk in front of him. Like,
yeah, I mean, so A, don't walk in front of the guy when you walk out the field, but B, like he didn't even like look down, like didn't even, most players are gonna be like, oh, sorry, dude, like you all right? Nothing. Optimistic view. Before tonight, we didn't know if we were capable of getting down like this and coming back. Like when we were able to do more explosive plays. Good to know that we can do it. Avery, this is what I love about you, dude.
That's such a good point, Avery. That's such a good point.
You find the silver lining, and when I'm ranting, you are the guy with like nice, smooth, and even. I appreciate you, Avery.
Such a good point.
Thank you, sir. Why were we struggling against the two safety blitz? Because they were already breaking down in the 4-man front against the tackles. When you add in the blitzers, and you saw that one where I think it was McKinnon was the back.
Yeah.
And he identified the far safety and actually crossed the formation to go get him. But then he totally missed the guy.
Yeah.
They did. I will give this, and it is in my notes. Like they did a good job disguising their blitzes in the second half. They didn't have that kind of creep. Patrick needs to change his cadence from time to time a little bit more. Keep them honest because they were timing him up and they were keeping it hidden until then.
Yep, I'm with you.
Would you have liked to see more aggressive blitzes?
More opportunities for our guys to get burned downfield. I don't know about that.
I thought it was a pretty even hand myself. Like I was happy with the volume of it. Thanks, Marshall, and I appreciate that. By the way, that's a good looking fish, buddy. I like it. Quentin, scale of 1 to 10, how glad are you two? Glad we did not give OBJ the bag in the offseason.
Yeah, I'm pretty. I'm at a 9. I'm at a 9, and this happens a lot in the NFL. Guys bet on themselves. Not often do we see it not come through. Like we see them have you. That's why the saying exists from the late great Terez Paylor. The contract year is undefeated. Usually it's undefeated. Orlando is not doing himself any favors in this. Not just to that, defenses are attacking it because they know he's not good against speed rushers. And it's showing up. That's also on Andy for not doing a good enough job of helping him out.
Agreed. Thank you, Quentin. Appreciate you. And I didn't see this, but hey,
Holly's birthday. What's up?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to
Happy
you.
Birthday.
We're not here for that, but happy birthday to you, Miss Holly.
Yes. Happy birthday, Holly.
Big Sean, Icehouse, Justin, they all called it out. I'm glad I saw that. Usually the chat's really hard for me to track, but I'm glad I saw that one tonight. Let's see. We got that one. Tricks Media, welcome to the membership.
What up, Tricks?
Also hit me with that one right over here. If y'all are members here, and we will have a sign up so that it'll be a little bit easier where you guys will have a link. You'll get in and then you'll just like connect your YouTube account to your Discord account. And then it should recognize you. That's been the missing link that I've never been able to get to work, but I think FLDB has it working or is very, very close. So you guys be prepared for that because he's doing a great job sorting out some things I could never get figured. So cheers to him. Doug, want Bell back to help with the tackles.
Yeah, Blake Bell, they're kind of missing Blake Bell right now in the run game, in the quarterback sneak game, in the chipping game, like
chip.
So yeah, I'm with you there on that
one. Des, thank you for the support. Appreciate it. And thank you too, Doug. Is Trey White supposed to be back next week? Could it be that they spent most of this week preparing for Buffalo? I don't think most of, but I do think that they're always looking a week ahead and they do spend some install time. I don't know about Trey. I haven't checked on him. Have you?
I haven't seen an activation for a window myself, but I don't know if he was required for that. If that's required for him.
I think he was. He went on short-term IR, right? So he's got to have a 3-week window.
So yeah, I haven't seen that yet. I don't know if he's ready yet. They're probably not going to speed up his recovery time for a regular season game against the Chiefs. I don't think that's going to happen. I think that if this was the playoffs, maybe, but it's week 6, so I don't think you'll see that.
Yeah. Yep, 1,000 plus still in here.
Let's go.
Good job, Justin. Thanks for pointing it out. We love you guys too. And we appreciate you spending your time with us post game. I know there's a lot of other streams you can hang out with. And because you guys are so great, you got Gooch tonight. And that's when it shows up.
Is in the house.
That means something. Will, welcome to the memberships. You as well. Appreciate that. Let's see. We got Dez's, Donnie's. Great Carol only got 1 million cap hit this year. Okay. Hey. You know, if one more Flag Gibson release, let's bring him in. I'm down. I'll do that to Tom Brady all year. The funny thing is that Tom Brady kicked him and got nothing.
Got nothing
for a clean play.
Literally kicked him. It was
ridiculous.
Dumb.
Zitro. The best team in the AFC is the Bills, but the team that has the highest potential is the Chiefs. Trey Smith's absence showed tonight. I think you're close. I do think the Bills are achieving pretty high for their potential as well. Can they get a little bit more out of it, particularly on their defense? Yeah. But offensively, I mean, do you think Josh Allen has hit his ceiling?
I don't know. Last year, I thought he hit a ceiling, but I think he's playing. I don't know. I think he's playing better. Honestly, it's hard to tell what's going on with Josh Allen and even Patrick Mahomes to an extent. These guys are aliens. They're the best quarterbacks in the NFL. And I don't know if there's a true ceiling for these kind of guys. It feels like they can always lift it a little bit more if they need it, and that's something that is you can't teach. And so I don't know if there's. I would say that there's a skylight above these guys. Like there's an obvious place, but then they can kind of put their head out through it if they need it. That's what I would say.
Now you got me thinking Groundhog Day, man. Will Mitchell, thank you and welcome to the memberships. Tactics, thank you, of course, as forever. Tactics is one of our original members too, folks. Mahomes gets the anti-Brady treatment. JPP and Shaq put him in the Kama Sutra yoga positions and no flag. I know. I even put it out. The NFL darling Tom Brady gets to blatantly throw a kick, which would get most players in this league thrown out of the ball game because he didn't like the fact that he got sacked. He didn't get spun. He got spun out. He didn't get landed on. He didn't get late hitted. Didn't get anything. Chris Jones puts his hand out to brace himself to not crush Derek Carr. Derek Carr didn't start complaining. Did you see him do anything? No. He thought it was a clean hit.
And there was a change of possession.
You can't rough a passer when he's not a damn passer anymore.
I don't understand. When you watch the play, as soon as he tackles him, the ball goes into Chris Jones's arm. He has the football.
I know.
What are we doing?
Parents, I apologize. I should not have cussed on the live stream. I will do that in the rant where you guys can choose to listen to it. Apologies if any of your kids are listening. I know it's late, so I hope they're not. I will lock it down now. Would you have put McDuffie on Adams if he was available?
Absolutely.
I would have rotated him. I don't know that I would have stuck him there man-on-man forever because he does have the length disadvantage there, but he plays hard through contact, and I think he positions himself to be in phase. I think that would have worked for the majority of it, but I'm happy with Jalen Watson. Oh, what do you got, man?
Sheffer said the fact the Carr fumbled was irrelevant. He said under the rule, he still gets protection until he can protect himself. Said he penalized Chris Jones for landing on him with full body weight. He absolutely didn't land on it with full body weight.
Nope.
And the simple fact of the matter is that you're no longer a quarterback. So it's not irrelevant. He just doesn't want it to be relevant because it completely
destroys what he did.
Destroys what he did. So that's fine.
Terry wants to know something I want to know. Why isn't Jody getting more targets? I don't know. I will tell you this, though. On Travis's last touchdown, Jody was open too.
They were in the same spot. Like there was a little miscommunication with who was supposed to be there because Jody was right here and Travis was like right here. So I was like, wait, you guys running the same route?
I mean, it could have been a double drag. They've done that before, but yeah, they didn't space it well depth-wise.
Yeah.
But had Patrick chosen to go there, he could have. But yeah, I don't know, Terry. Like that is a mystery too. That maybe they're warming into it. I don't know. Like it should be happening already. Daryl, thank you. Ryan, you're not making excuses. I was just picking on you. Okay, cool. I think I'm the only guy that misses the 70s, 80s, and 90s. No, I remember the 90s. They were fun. The 80s, whew, I was there for the beginning of MTV. I was more than 10 years old. That's all I'm going to tell you guys. Kind of sucks being old. Daryl, I appreciate you, dude. Coleman, thank you for the support. How bad is Orlando Brown? Should they non-tender him? Can they draft someone else, or is there a good free agent? Right now, I think the answer is in free agency myself.
It has to be. But again, we're talking about 2 tackle positions because I don't think that they have a solid guy at right tackle, especially if Niang is just never going to be healthy. They don't have a guy unless Orlando Brown is willing to finally go back to playing right tackle, and then maybe you can figure something out because I just don't think he's a left tackle.
I don't think that solves it. I think he's got too much bad speed rush film out there.
No, I don't think you're wrong. I think it would be better.
Yeah, maybe.
But it wouldn't be great.
Okay. Like I said, I'm not super pleased with the draft class so far. I think they should at least start the negotiation, see where they can get, because his performance is driving his price down, and his agent's got to understand that. And I think that will happen. So let's see where it goes. Justin, I think the Raiders are actually way better than their record, like 10-7-ish. Such a weird start to the season. Yeah, I agree, UFF. That is literally in my notes, and that's why I wasn't going to post them. Chiefs go 15-2. 15-2 is a lofty number, my friend.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they keep winning 1-point games. I don't know. I don't know.
That'd be awesome.
Good God, I will take it. But Justin, I agree with you. I think they are better than their record shows. Just the fact that they're able to run that well. And if you guys remember, I caught a lot of havoc when I said, by the way, Divide Diablo is going to be a player in this league. He might not be a player you like, but he's a player.
I was shocked, and I'm seeing him down in the box. I'm like, oh, okay, he's a linebacker now. He looks bulked up too, so he's definitely changed his dynamic. So yeah, good for him.
Yeah, I'm happy for him. VTech product, if I remember correct.
Yep.
Holly, thank you, Miss Holly. I'm glad you're here, and happy birthday again. Exciting game. Juju had a few misses early, but he and Hardman seemed to do well later in the game. Am I wrong? I don't think you're wrong, and I was particularly happy with Hardman for. I thought it was a hamstring. I thought it was something bad, like soft tissue, because he kind of pulled up as he went off to the sideline. So I was really happy that he came back, and I thought he looked okay.
Yeah, I think that it was weird. Like I said, I thought that the injury, because that face that he had on the sideline was not one of joy. It was not one of, I'm feeling really good right now. It was one of intense pain. And then a play later, just give him the ball again. I'm confused at the idea here. Like, if he's healthy, why is he in pain on the sideline? If he's in pain on the sideline, why is he back out on the field the next play getting the ball? I don't know. I'm a little confused. I'm not going to lie. But glad that he was out on the field, I guess, if he's healthy enough to play.
The only thing I can say is I do think it is a bone contusion, and it starts to feel better, and they let him go, and then he re-injures it in some strange. I mean, especially the way that he runs. You ever see how he kind of like he almost waddles on his toes? But when he has to cut real hard, especially when he's decelerating, he plants his heels all the time. And I think it's just re-injuring itself over and over and over and over. That's my thought. But Holly, you're not wrong. Like, they both made some decent plays. I think Juju's going through more injury than he's letting on, and I'm pretty happy with his tough play. Dan wants to see more.
Always.
Tom, I have to say that I am concerned about the Bills this week. Josh looks like the second coming of John Elway, and we're going to get burned deep, I'm afraid. That's all about alignment. You can stop getting burnt deep by playing your alignment. And Brian Cook's my guy. Brian, if you're watching, just stay deep, man. It's okay. Just stay deep, especially against Shakir, because I know you know what he can do. But yeah, it's about the alignment and the coaching, Tom. I think that's the difference. I don't think it's more mechanical than that. Mr. Gooch, hope you're back and doing well. So I didn't have Fenton on the team, and he was behind the Raiders players all night. He should be 4 or 5. Thoughts?
Yeah, no, I think
can't
you're
argue.
right.
I can't argue. I love the guy, and like I said, I'd move him to strong safety. That's what I'd do, because I appreciate the fight in him. He brings it every day. If you need somebody to go knock the snot out of somebody on the opposing team, Rashad Fenton's your guy.
Just don't expect him to wrap up.
No, don't expect him wrapped up. Don't expect him to turn and run correctly. And for God's sake, get your okay. Jalen's young. I can forgive him. Rashad Fenton knows better than to go into the chest of the opposing wide receiver without getting his dang head around. This will be my rant later in the week, folks. You can see the part 2 later because I cannot afford to get going right now. Do we go after Sue with the Twerk Wharton entry? I don't think you can. Again, you'd have to convert Patrick's contract. I don't think Sue's worth it. If you do that, I think it's all holds barred. Let it all go. Go after OBJ.
Yeah.
Get somebody you think that can help a tackle. And if that's Sue, fine, I'll live with it. But you got to go all in at that point. Let's see. Max said they need to use Burton on short yards. They just need to run Burton sometimes.
Yeah.
Just let the man run. He's in there blocking really well. They put him in the 3 tight end set you guys saw tonight. So he's playing the H. Like Mike Burton can do more than he lets on. He's underutilized.
Yeah. I'm with you, man.
What are you laughing about?
Dude, this is really good stuff on Twitter right now.
Oh, yeah? Like
There's
funny stuff or informational I need to know?
Well, there is a whole explanation of why he didn't call it.
Oh, okay. I'll get to that
thing.
later.
There's another one of still of him when he's talking to or looking at the Devontae Adams catch, and it's quoted, "Yeah, boys, we got to call him out, or I'm not getting out of here alive."
Hold on.
Looks
like I might have to jump to the Chiefs show, so let's finish this up. What injury is Brown dealing with?
Oh yeah, he's not dealing with an injury. He's just not very good. Sorry, Terrell.
Okay.
I know you wished. I know you wanted a better answer from us, but unfortunately, he's just being exploited by faster players because he's not very fast and has slow feet.
That's bad. That's generally bad for people. Thank you, Terrell. Though I appreciate it. Holly, weird question, but it seems like there are hints about the way the Chiefs show up for games. Sometimes super stoked but didn't seem very energized until the second half. But the Bucs games, the Chiefs seemed very energized from the start.
Yeah.
1 second. Okay, we're gonna send that. Okay, sorry. I agree, and that's again when you know you have an opponent that's coming that they can get up for. They do. Bucs was easy. I think the Bills are going to be easy, but it's this stuff. It's when you think you got it in the bag, and I think Andy's mind is always on longevity for the season to make it through the playoffs. So that's my problem.
I'm with you. It's always hard to stay engaged all season, but I want to see at least you come out and look like you want to be there for half of football. I don't know. Maybe that's asking too much.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Aya Slayer, this game, oof, let's hope it gets cleaner against the Bills and also Kelce. Kelce. Yeah, he is the MVP for the night, and MVS had a solid night too. Folks, we're going to speed through these because I got to go do the post-presser show with Matt Derrick for Locked On Chiefs. Make sure you join that as well. We are going to be live, so you guys can just jump over there. Kingdom Come, and I got to say that, right? Chiefs podcast. Thank you. Let's go. Chiefs had a great win. A lot to be happy about. I love the running back room this year. What a freaking run by McKinnon. Yeah, McKinnon was on tonight. Like, he showed why he's here. That's what you need from him.
He also had an insane blitz pickup on one of the throws to Kelce for a touchdown. He just took Diablo and cut him in half. And that's a reason that he didn't get a hand in the passing lane. It's because McKinnon is lifting him up off the ground.
I agree. Let's see. Is there no link yet? Okay. Spag's thoughts after tonight.
I kind of gave mine a little bit earlier. He's playing with half of a hand of cards. He doesn't have 6 of his players, his starters, close to 6 of his starters, and that's hard to do. So he's trying to do everything he can to help out the defense and put guys in positions he thinks they can be successful in. It's not always the same, but I have no issues with the creativity he's gotten in this year. And once he gets those starters back, I think it's going to look much better.
I hope so. I mean, that's all I can guess.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, you have to start somewhere and you got to improve. And that's the bottom line. I think he's done a good job mixing. I do think he has a ways to go as well. So there is a bit of back and forth.
Yeah.
Terry, thank you. Do you feel like the fourth quarter pass to Hardman was a misran route or by him or a throw by Pat? Dan thinks it's a misthrown route that Patrick didn't hit correctly. I think he got away from him. I think it was the excitement personally, but that's just me.
It looked like it to me that he wanted to lead him upfield, but you kind of have to know the situation there. And I think that he knows that Hardman's going to cut that off a little bit if it's not supposed to go a little deeper.
Yeah. I mean, that should be by design. Daryl, hey, my birthday is coming up on the 22nd. It'd be nice to have a Ryan and Dan rant. I will work on that. And thank you, Daryl. Happy birthday. We're going to wrap it there because I'm going to jump on live on Locked On Chiefs. Go check that out. Dan, thank you for being on here. Appreciate it.
No problem. Hope
All
you guys
you
have a great day.
1,000, if you're not subbed yet, hit that sub right now and hit that bell
Please.
and the like. We would appreciate it. We'll be back breaking stuff down. Gary will have stuff for you in a day or two. I'll try to get something done tomorrow, and you'll get those rants. All right. Have a great night. That's a win. That's all that matters. Take care. We'll talk to you tomorrow.